Thanks again for joining me on Monday. So excited. It's actually Mage Monday. Did I say Memorial Day Monday? It's Mage Monday. We've had these options up all night. Let people tell me what they wanted to see. Had a couple votes for Paladin, only one vote for Hunter, but the majority, including myself, are going towards Mage. I want to win today, guys. I'm going for a big win. You can't always say you're going to win big just by picking Mage. Probably should pick Paladin if we really, really want to win, but I'm thinking we can get a good Mage deck going here. Paladin has been a little iffy for us. It hasn't been the greatest class for us, so we're going to do a Mage draft today, and we're going to win. We got 8 earlier this week. We had two 12s last week, and then we got a 10. And then this week so far we've got is an 8 from that Hunter deck, right? So we had a little bit of a slump yesterday. Only got a 4. Let's go for at least an 8 again with this one. Double digits is what we're really going for, but we can't always assume that just because we got a good class. So we're going as high as we can. And this is at least a good start. So last time we drafted Mage, we didn't get any Pyroblast, which makes me at least a little bit hesitant to pass it up. I mean, it's not guaranteed to be the greatest card to lead you to victory, but having it makes your deck slightly better than not having it, right? Having that a third of their life, a third of their game in your hands at the end of the game is pretty useful. But the Blizzard is gold, and that looks pretty. And this guy on curve with the secret is probably most valuable than either of those. But we're going to take the Pyroblast. I know that's what you guys want to see. If Hayes or Trist were here, they would not let me pass that up. So I've got to take the Pyroblast. I can't live with myself if I don't. And so we're going for the long con here. I said I want 10 wins. The best way to get to 10 wins is with a little bit of luck. So we're going to take a Ravencaller over the Explosive Runes. It's a little tricky, but we're going to take the Ravencaller because of the value it can give us, right? If you haven't seen my YouTube video on it yet, there's 53 1-drops. We get 2 of them with the Ravencaller. Some of them give us some pretty insane value. So we're going to take the Ravencaller, and we're going to get value out of that more than the Explosive Runes. Probably. There's no guarantee, but we need a little bit of luck. If we're going for 10, you've got to set yourself up for luck, right? So sometimes having something like a mind control deck to cheese somebody out, or Pyroblast, that's how you get to the end sometimes, is just setting yourself up for the cheese. So speaking of some crummy picks, though, Frozen Clone can, late game, it really can get you some value, especially in Arena. I'd feel a lot better with Frozen Clone if we had 2 or 3 board clears already, knowing that we could play it after we clear the board of a Flamestrike. The problem is that if you're playing against somebody in Arena who's on their last card, right, and they just have to top deck something, maybe they're holding on to their best minion, then you get something out of Frozen Clone. But a lot of the time, you're kind of playing a top deck war. Especially that's true in Hearthstone itself, since everybody only starts with 3 cards, 4 if you're going second. It's not like some other games where you start with a massive combo in your hand already. You've got to build up to it. So if you're playing the top deck war, the Frozen Clone is often a coin flip based on what they draw. But I think the runt has gone down a lot in value in this new expansion. A lot of the time, because of how aggressive Arena is, you want to play him before you get the combo, before you get that going for you. So that's tough, getting the Battle Cry. He does work with Ravencaller a little bit more. And since there's no Medivh's Valet anymore, having a secret in play for a while doesn't really have any bonus effect other than playing with your opponent's mind. It doesn't give you a combo card anymore. Except for there is, from the classic set, there is the ethereal 3/3 that levels up if you have a secret in play for a while. I haven't seen him in the arena in a while. We'll probably see him now because I mentioned him, so keep your eye out for him. I think we need a 2-drop though. After all that, let's just get a 2-drop. So in the arena, we always want a silence. Since Mage doesn't have its own silence, we count Polymorph as a silence. It's a little bit different of an interaction compared to a Battle Cry silence on a minion, but they both have their own What do you want to... They both have their own strengths and weaknesses, right? I think we take the Polymorph in this deck. I do want a Fireball, though, but we got to take the Pyroblast. After Silence, we want a Poison, and we want maybe a Weapon Destruction, because if we get behind against the Paladin, you definitely want the Weapon Destruction. But, like I was saying, we're going far this time, so we got to set ourselves up for the best wins against every class, and having an Elemental Chain going in Mage is going to be how we do that. And getting random cards that we need with that elemental tag is going to be how we do that. And some big fatties. We need a really good curve. Glad I didn't take that Frozen Clone earlier, because we have to take that one over those two guys. We already got our 2-drop. This is obviously a way better 2-drop than the run. But we're getting some. I think we need the Kodo just for the advantage that it can give us. So let's take the Kodo. Let's make that work. Got to take the Bone Drake. So we're getting some good value here. So this is the exact same pick we saw a couple picks ago. Since we've already got the Polymorph, let's take the Fireball. It's never bad to have 2 of either of those cards, but I'd rather have 1 of either than 1 of both than 2 of either. That gives your deck more options. So Cinderstorm is probably just the best value as far as pushing face, but it's not standard. We don't have an Apprentice, we don't have the Alunith to follow up and help us restock our hand, and since we're going for the long haul here, this at least helps us clear out if we're getting behind, which it looks like, based on our our deck so far, we probably will be behind quite a bit. Now there's still 18 cards left. Hopefully we'll get a Flamestrike and another Blizzard, so we won't really need a Cinderstorm. I'm wondering if we can get more value out of the Spellstone here. The problem is there's 25 non-quest mage spells, and some of them are really bad. It's another issue with the shifting scroll, is if you take the shifting scroll and it turns first into a mirror image, and then it becomes a Book of Specters, and then it becomes a Breath of Sindragosa, it can be sitting in your hand doing a lot of nothing for you for a long time. So I think we're going to take the Cinderstorm, try to get some early game here. The Berserker best combos with the Volcano. If you guys haven't seen that video, we got the Berserker in 1 turn up to 20 damage with a Lucky Volcano and had lethal from it. There we go. There's the Blizzard that we need. Still want a Flamestrike. We can't have a second Pyroblast yet. I would like to have a second Pyroblast because that is really fun to get there, to end a game that way. But we need more minions in this range, and we need more of the Elemental tag, especially on 4 for the Servant. And I think, looking at these two and our deck, I think honestly the Water Elemental with the 6 health is probably a better one. It's hard to say though. They definitely both have their spots in history. So we don't have another Murloc. We might get one, which would make his +1/+1 in general better than the +1 spell damage. But if we can combo the +1 spell damage with like Cinderstorm or something early on, then it's totally worth it. So we got to take the Vexcrow and see if we can get it going here. Ooh, yes. There it is. There's the Flamestrike. I would love a second Polymorph, and I would definitely love a Bone Marrow, but we can't pass up our only Flamestrike. Oh man, this deck is looking really good right now. So we've got our Polymorph as our silence. We've got 2 AoEs. I really want this poison. We got him. That's great. This is everything I like so far, guys. Holy cow. We are building a good deck here. 2 Blizzards. I gotta take it. It's just too good. Oh man, a second Vexcrow? Is that even that valuable over card draw? I think we need the card draw. So normally I would take the 2-drop card draw. But with the Vexcrows, we actually want the Arcane Intellect just to get the something rolling there. Ooh man. A nice healthy minion. You know, we got a lot going on up here already in this mana. I don't think we can take the Volcanosaur. The problem is that the Volcanosaur is better on an empty board, right? So if we're trading, if we're getting ahead, let's say we Blizzard, obviously a Volcanosaur is better than a Flamestrike or holding on to even a Sated Threshodon. That's debatable. The Bonfire Elemental, so right now it is possible to get the Elemental Chain going. He's actually not the best as far as compared to I don't think the Servant, you get one more attack out of him, but the possibility of getting a huge elemental out of this guy, even a small one like Pyros, just the value you get out of that is too good. I'm thinking with how expensive our deck is, creature-wise so far, that we're not going to want to draw that card unless we're trying to get to an out, which obviously drawing cards to get to blizzards is is nothing to undersell here. I think we actually want the 4-drop though. Get in some early trades. That's tough though. So sometimes I get hung up on trying to build the perfect deck instead of taking the better card. So let's take a step back and just evaluate what's the better card here. And I think it's Volcanosaur, so let's do that. I think the Swift is really good too though. The 3-drop that heals might be the best. So looking at our 3-drops, it's tricky the way they break down the curve here because all they do is the mana curve. They don't break it up by minions or anything like that. And looking at our curve, we've got a lot of 3s. But if we get to turn 3, there's very few of these that give us board position. Arcane Intellect just gives us a card advantage. Ruins a turn 3 trade. Cinderstorm, maybe we drop on turn 3, maybe not. I mean, might want to hold on to it for Vex Crows, might want to set up better trades, might need to because we don't have any 3-drop minions. Other than those, man, I think we need the 3-drop. Even if we don't get the heal out of it, just having a 3-drop 3/3 is really good in a lot of situations because we just need to build up to late game right now. We've got a Pyroblast, a Flamestrike, 2 Blizzards, some good minions building up here. Not great. It's not like we have a Lich King sitting down here, but we have value with later minions, so we need some value with some earlier minions. That's why we have to take the Enchanter there, and why we have to take the Messenger here. Okay, so these are kind of crummy. We've been offered 2 mages and I've had to pass them up, but maybe we want this guy just in case we can combo it out. Arcane Missile on turn 5 with Vexcrow though, I think is probably the best. Is there any point in the game where I might want to use Snap Freeze with one of my Blizzards or my Water Elemental? I don't know, I wish this card let you draw a card. They still haven't figured out the single target freeze yet, right? Because this compared to even the Glacial Shard, the 2/1 minion is just so bad. It could destroy it, sure. Maybe we'll get Frost Mage going in the next expansion. Maybe they'll hook us up. Let's just go for the damage. Let's keep the damage going. Oh, there's another 3-drop, I guess. Is this guy worth it on 5? I think our 5-drops are actually our best like group of minions, right? Yeah, we need another 3-drop. Even if we don't get it right after the Tempest, we have to have it. These are all really good. I actually have my favorite poison already and think we need something with a little more value. The Hoarding Dragon can get you in trouble. So one game we were against a rogue who somehow, I don't know why they drafted Headcrack. They just got it. They drafted it and they got Malygos from a Bone Drake. They had my 2 coins and on one turn they did 7 damage with Headcrack straight to my head. I couldn't recover the next turn because they got it back. So even though we took care of Malygos, it was just a Headcrack and like an extreme Headcrack. And so every once in a while, giving your opponent the coins is troubling. But that's the drawback of having a nice 5/6 for 4 mana. What do our 4 manas look like? You know, a lot of our 4 manas are situational. I think we take the Hoarding Dragon because we probably want to hold on to Vexcrow. Don't get his value just by dropping him on turn 4. And the same thing with the Swift Messenger. Getting the rush exactly right is going to be really important. Okay, another Discover. Ooh, so this card draw cannot be underrated. Having the free one is a higher value for sure. So getting a free card gives you the value way more than drawing it from your deck. But only having one, I'm wondering if with this deck and the synergy, if we want that. What do our 2-drops look like? No, we want the other 3-drop. We got to go with it. The Mana Worm's not bad. We do have a bit of a good curve going with it, except if I drop it on turn 1 and then I have to hope to have Arcane Missile, I'd probably rather hold on to my Arcane Missile for Vexcrow. I mean, there are some duds with Vexcrow, right? Like, if I get a Doomsayer, then there are some duds, but I don't have enough to keep the Mana Worm that happy, I don't think. I had to pass up on Explosive Runes earlier. I got to take it this time. Oh, that was the last card. Should have paid a little bit closer attention to that. But this deck is hitting all the right cylinders. We don't have a Silence per se, but we've got a Polymorph. We've got the Pyroblast for the finisher, 3 juicy AoEs, Flamestrike and Blizzard, and then we get some good value here. So Ravencaller has a really high chance of giving us an elemental for our chain if we have to hold on to it. But I think we're good. I think this is a good one. I was hoping for double digits. That's why I took the Mage. It's been a while since we pushed all the way up to double digit wins. This week we've been having a lot more fun with our Hunter and Shamans. Let's go for a real one. And I think with a little bit of luck we can get there. I wish that we had a Stonehill Defender. I think is the only thing I'm really sad about. And a Fungalmancer. Something to give these lesser guys a little bit more motivation, right? So if I have to play the Tusker on turn 2, and then I have to play the Enchanter on turn 3 just to keep up, it's going to be a while until we get something going on if they just have better value. But yeah, I like this one. What do you guys think? I'm saying at least, I don't want to aim too high. I'm without a legendary, without a lot of external value like a Glyph or a Stonehill Defender or even an Arphis. I'm thinking at least 7. I'm